You have multiple options for the pop art background on your shoe drawing. I want to show you how to do a radial burst. So first, say your shoe is in the middle of the paper. You want the center of your burst to be on the inside of your shoe. You're going to decide where the middle of the burst is and just draw a really small dot. You need to erase this later, so don't make it too dark. And then using a ruler or a straight edge, you're going to line up the ruler with the dot. Don't cover it because you have to keep in mind the actual size of your pencil. And then we're going to start our line on the outside of the shoe. And you're making a line on either side of the shoe that connects with the dot. Rotate your ruler and just check the alignment, and then make your line from the outside of the shoe. And we're going to do this until we have as many bursts as we feel comfortable with. Just remember to always get both sides so the line continues. I rotate, line it up with the center point, and continue. Awesome. So once you're done, and by the way, this goes off of the page, so we can just pretend that the paper is here. So once you're done, you can erase the dot in the middle. All right. All right. Next, you're choosing your color scheme. What colors do you want in the background? We're practicing a gradient, so working from lightest to darkest, darkest to lightest, or one color to another. Me personally, I like when the lightest color is in the center and your darkest values or shades are on the outside. And I'm going to alternate between blue and green. So always start with your lightest value first. And when you're doing a burst, we're going to be coloring in every other ray. So with my lighter value, I am going to take this all the way to the edge of the paper and fill this in really lightly using the side of my pencil as much as possible. And then I'm going to go in with my darker value. For the sake of this video, this is really, really tiny. So your technique is going to vary a little bit when you're doing this on a larger scale. But we're going to take our darker value at the top and progressively lighten your pressure as you go towards the center. So it's a gradual change. That's a gradient. Ooh, actually, just like grades in your notebook, grades when we're talking about geology, you have graded layers of the Earth's crust. Stairs are technically graded. So that generally relates to, changing or moving. from one phase to another. So notice I did go in the opposite direction of my original pencil marks. Just try to keep it clean so that you're not showing the white of the paper underneath your pencil marks. And keep your pencil sharpened as needed so you're not carving into the paper. I will need to sharpen this soon so that wood doesn't cut up the paper. You can go back in right at the edge and get really dark if you want to. Another option for a sunburst like this, creating a gradient every other ray and then a solid fill in the other ones. So actually, change of plans. I'm going to do that with mine and do a solid blue. And I'm just going to make it dark. Maybe a little bit lighter towards the center. Just remember with colored pencil, unless you have the fancy erasable ones, you really can't erase once you commit. And you want these to match as much as possible. The other thing is with the gradient, you want your burst to fade at the same rate all the way around the circle. So think of it as your radius, because it radiates. Oh my gosh, you get it? And sometimes, like, my fingers are already cramping up a little bit. You can start light and then go back and add another layer if your hands are hurting a little bit. It's also good to stop and stretch. All right. And you get the idea. I'll do this all the way around. And I would do a similar technique inside a blob because you need a gradient to really make this stand out and show off your skill.